All right, everybody. Rob Cootie here. Marie Cannon, we're here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here we go.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Good morning, Miss Marie. How are you today?
Good morning, Rob. I am doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm fine on this Wednesday, July 15th, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm fine. I am really excited about today's show. This is one of the hot topics for me, one of my hot buttons, if you will. Folks, what we're going to be talking about today, the things they'll say to get you to join their business. It's crazy crap. We're going to include what's said on conference calls because that's the same thing. Guys, don't let them manipulate your emotions and your decisions with these crazy tactics they use. With that being said, we are going to do what? Our famous intro. There we go, the official start of our show today. You can't start a show without that, even if I have to verbally go gong.
Everybody's awake now, right?
It's not as loud as I usually make it. I usually turn it up, but I'm trying to spare your ears for a bit until I tune it up and make you a regular participant in our show. And because, boy, sometimes I turn it up. I really want to get people's attention with that gong. Anyway, Miss Marie, it's a beautiful day here. I don't know what it's like out there, but it's hot, hot, hot. As we talked about a little bit ago, I do not like it being hot, hot, hot. I can handle hot, but man, when you do the triple hot, 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 that is too much for me.
Yeah, well, being from Wisconsin, I've always liked the cooler weather. And I tell you what, the heat, the problem is you can only take so many clothes off before you get arrested. When you're cold, you can always put more clothes on.
I know. I agree with that. I totally get that. I do not want, as I get older, to be out when it's really hot. And I remember when I was younger and people would say that, older people, and I'd be like, you know, what do they mean? I mean, I understood what they were saying, but I just like, now I totally get it. You know, when it's extremely cold and when it's extremely hot, I just don't have the desire to get out in it anymore like I used to. It used to never bother me, you know, but now I'm like, I don't feel like putting all those clothes on, you know. I had to go out in the cold. I don't feel like going out in that heat and putting up with that crazy sun. I think I'll just plop my butt down here and I get things done. You know, I'm doing business stuff or you spend time with the family. I mean, I'm always on the move. Now, one day, maybe, I've thought about it, I might do a broadcast out from my backyard. It's an oasis. The wife has done a wonderful job. I love being out there, and we have this huge, I don't know if it's a regular maple or a water maple. I'm not good with trees. I love trees. I'm not a tree hugger, but I do love trees. But the thing is, I don't know well enough to know one from the other. With the advent of the internet, you would think I would be able to figure that out. But here's the point. The point is that it is a massive tree. It's probably 90 foot. It's got to be between 75 and 90 feet.
Wow.
And, yeah, but where we live, there's trees like that everywhere. I mean, we've had some trees that are over 100 feet. And so they're big, massive trees. Even my granddaughters, they've been coming here for 5 years now. And they even said the other day, they said, Grandpa, we never realized how big that tree is. and so it provides a wonderful canopy of shade.
Yeah, that's one of the things I miss about living in Wisconsin. We moved here to Utah, and it's technically high desert. And that's not to say we don't have trees, but in Milwaukee, where I grew up, you have the tree-lined streets where there's just trees on both sides, and they kind of meet in the middle, and it's almost driving down a tunnel on some of the city streets, and there's nothing like that here in the Salt Lake area, at least, that I'm aware of.
No, I agree. I've been all over Utah, and I mean that. And from one end to the other, and on both sides, east and west. Okay, so, and I've been down to the Four Corners area, you know, where you drive up on that side.
Yep.
On the other side where St. George is, I've gone all the way up. Is it Idaho that's right above you guys?
Yep, Idaho's right to the north.
I've gone right up there. Love Idaho. Love Wyoming. I've been all up to there, Montana. It's absolutely stunning. Just like the northeast of the United States. If people ever get a chance to go there, man, it is flipping awesome. I'll touch on that in a moment. But anyway, the point is, yes, I know exactly what you're saying. I've been to Wisconsin, the Dells, Madison, Milwaukee. We talked about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been all over the state of Wisconsin like I have Utah, but Wisconsin is much like Kentucky. A lot of foliage, a lot of trees, a lot of green,
Yep.
a lot of shrubbery, things that you miss when you move to Utah, that's for sure.
Well, it took me a while to figure out what I was missing. I think we lived here about 6 months before I went back to Milwaukee the first time. And as we were flying in, just seeing all the trees and all the green, I'm like, that's what I've been missing. It's all the green.
Yes, and that is you don't realize it until you actually miss it. Because when you go out west, and there again, I've traveled extensively. I've been very blessed to be through most of the United States. I can't think of many states I haven't been to, and I mean, I don't mean like driving through, where you wave and say, "Oh yeah, I've been there." No, I mean I've been there. Obviously I've not been to every corner of every state, but I've been. When I go someplace, I'm usually there for a while. Anyway, the point is, when you get past Texas in the south, up north, Montana. Because, Montana, most people don't know Montana, and I'm not going to get off subject. We're going to get on subject here in a minute. Montana, most people don't know on the east side of Montana, it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
All the postcards that you see and the pictures you see in magazines are of the west side where the Rockies are, and it is absolutely stunning. It's kind of mundane and boring on the east side.
And Montana's a big state, so.
It's a big state. And I drove through there when it was unlimited speed. There was no speed limit. It was unlimited. And I'd be going like 80, 85, which I thought was fast. Oh my gosh. They flew past me like I was sitting still. I don't know about you, but I'm not comfortable even with a brand new car going that fast. There's too many things that can happen going that fast.
Well, yeah, you got to be a little bit more careful, especially if you're in traffic. But out in Montana, yeah. I don't think you know what a traffic jam is out there.
No. And when you're on the east side of Montana, I'm telling you, there is nothing out there. I mean, nothing. You can see for miles. Okay.
And that's why they let you drive so fast. Everybody wants to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And I mean, if there's a moose coming up, guys, if you've never been to Montana, I mean, it's a wildlife refuge all the way across the state. And those moose are as big as a vehicle. I'll never forget the first time I saw one. It was unbelievable. But anyway, man, I don't know. When you're going that fast, you don't have time to react if something jolts across the road. If you hit a piece of ice, because most people don't realize is that when I was driving through Montana, they had highway on the east side, but when you get on the west side, it turns into a lot of 2-lane roads. And man, there are crosses everywhere because they have black ice, into let's say maybe 7, 8 months out of the year. Where here in Kentucky, we might only have it, maybe 1 month. So they had so many crosses, because people hit that black ice, and of course they hit head on. You're on a 2-lane road, and there's a lot of semis driving through there. Man, I did not like that at all. I did not do that very often. But on the east side, it's wide open highway. So anyway, when I went up northeast and went through Vermont, Connecticut, New Hampshire, I didn't realize how small those places were state-wise. I mean, you can drive through those in a matter of a couple hours. But I remember going from Plattsburgh, New York, and I went across the bay. There's some kind of bay up there. I had lunch at this family restaurant that had been there, it looked like a couple 100 years. And you look out the window and you're looking over the bay, and there's little small islands out there that people live on. And the ferry takes you from New York over to Vermont or Connecticut. I can't remember which. Beautiful ride. You drive your car on, man, I mean, it's just everything about it's picturesque, and it's everything that you see in the magazines. And so I got on the other side, and I'll have to look at the map. I'm really good with geography, but that part kind of, I really don't have a clear vision of it. But anyway, when I went into there, I had to drive through this, once again, this almost postcard-like 2-lane road through all these beautiful trees that were just busting with all these wonderful colors, autumn colors. It was like you were in a living postcard, and you had these little cottages along the road, and it was like you were driving through their neighborhood. It wasn't like you were driving through, a country road. So anyway, when I came up on the next airport, I mean, it was such a small airport that if you didn't, it had a small little sign out front. That was the airport. And I drove up there, and I only had like 1 or 2 terminals, and it was like you saw the Bob Newhart show when he was out in Connecticut. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, I had a ball. It was great, but it was hard to believe that people actually live like that those things exist. And I was in awe. I was inspired by what I saw, because I love living like that. I mean, that to me is the way to live. But I think it was hard to imagine that in this country, people still live like that and loved it. And
yeah, it's a beautiful part of the country. A few years ago, I spent 5 or 6 weeks in Rhode Island.
Oh, there you go.
Stayed at a place in Providence. So shout out to my peeps out there in Rhode Island. I loved it. It was fantastic. And yes, I mean, to be able to go and visit in different states as a day trip, because they're so small and close together, right?
Oh my gosh.
Whereas out west, it's just, we have this vast expanse of land, and the states are so much bigger. It's such a difference. It's amazing as you go across the United States how different geographically the areas are, but how similar we are as Americans. That's one of the things I absolutely love. Yeah,
absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better. It is an amazing journey. If you ever get a chance, folks, to do it, you ought to do it. I'm so glad before I leave this earth that I've been able to do that. And it is an amazing thing. It's so vastly different. And the funny thing is, without dragging this on, because we need to get on with our show, when you're in the northeast and you go across and you get to Seattle and Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, they're similar. And what I mean is a lot of trees, a lot of foliage, a lot of green. They share a lot of similarities like that, except on the East Coast, you have that really harsh winter. On the West Coast, you have a winter, but it's much softer and mushy versus what you get on the East Coast. Yep. And that's thanks to our good neighbors of Canada. I'll tell you that now, because those winds sweep down across the Dakotas and head east with that strong wind, and it'll dip down in Wisconsin and Minnesota and just rush across the upper northeast. And man, that wind, when it comes out of Canada, oof, how Canadians live up there in that kind of weather on a for months on end. They're strong people. I love the Canadian people. They used to come down to North Dakota all the time when I was there, and loved them. They're great people. Really were good hearts, good people, fun-loving people. I have nothing bad to say about our northern neighbors. They're just awesome people. We should be grateful as a country that they're there and not somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Yes. As if we don't have enough challenges. All right. So with that being said, guys, on to the subject. We gave you a little geography lesson there. Nothing wrong with starting with a little humility and a little human insight into our great country. With that being said, we're going to be talking about something that's very important, and that is what people will say to you to get you to join their business. Marie's got some stories. I got some stories, and then I will say this, and I'll preface the beginning with this because Marie's going to take it and run with it. I'll interject as we go along, but the point is this, guys, people are desperate to get recruits. They know they have to get a constant source of people to come into their funnel. They're told that when they sign up, that, make a list of your friends and family. That's the first thing they tell you, because really a lot of your sponsors out there have no idea how to generate leads. They're just as dumbfounded as you are on how they're going to generate enough leads to catch any traction whatsoever. And guys, the leads, I'll never forget, Jerry Campisi told me, leads are the lifeline of your business. And it's so true. Without leads, you have nothing. You're going nowhere. You can sign up 10 people in your first month and never sign up another person, and you're dead in the water. I mean, it's over. Okay. And making a list of friends and family, well, unless your friends and family encompass 10,000 names, you're in trouble. I'll be honest with you. It could be, I used to, but I would never advocate anybody do that today. It could be a good launching pad, but I want to tell you, your friends and family are going to run from you the moment you open your mouth about another opportunity. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, please leave me alone. Okay. Don't ruin your friendships. Don't ruin your relationships with your family and friends over this business. Stop doing that. Anyway, Maria, I was going to call you my wife.
Please don't insult the poor woman.
I had a strange morning. I already told Maria about it. I'm not going to tell you guys now, but guys, today is Monday all over again, except on steroids. I don't know what in the world's going on, but when the show's over, I'm going to go climb in a closet and close the door. Today has been a challenge. Anyway, Marie.
Well, let's start with the idea of friends and family, right? Because that's where most leadership is going to have you start. And the tricky bit there is they'll tell you that the product's going to sell itself. And that's absolutely not true. That's why we become network marketers, is because we're marketing a product. There has to be a product for sale. There isn't anything out there that sells itself, but I know you use your example of created on Mars, made a trip around Pluto, found its way to Earth, and cures everything. And I think that's a really interesting picture that people present of the products. Like, everybody's going to want it, and of course you're going to start with your friends and family. And two things happen on the product side. A lot of your friends and family, they're not even looking for something like that to begin with, so they're not going to be interested. And then on the business side, it takes a unique personality, a unique individual to want to own and run their own business. Yes. And for those of us that come from kind of the traditional family background, where the idea is you go to school, you get a job, you get married, you pursue your career, you live happily ever after with the white picket fence type of, goal in life, people aren't thinking about owning their own business and the time and effort that needs to go into that.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of people out there, especially, and I did this early on in my career because it's like, I'm going to follow what the leadership says, right?
Sure, absolutely. And I was green. I didn't know any better.
Yeah, exactly. So you go after the friends and family, and you see this vision for the business and what it can achieve for you in terms of that time freedom, the potential for income. For me, it was a control thing. And why isn't anybody else in my family seeing this? They're relatively intelligent people, but why aren't they interested, right? So it becomes a struggle, and unfortunately, that's one of the things that early on becomes a discouragement, because it's portrayed as being so easy, and these are the people that love you, and of course they're going to join you, and when they don't, it's like, oh my goodness, how can I even approach people I don't know with this?
Yeah, man, you hit the nail on the head. I've shared the same fears and went through the same journey. I don't ever want people to get the impression that Rob's never made mistakes. My gosh, folks, why do you think I have the knowledge I have? Because I made every freaking mistake you can make, I think. I'm sure there's some that I missed, but I'm not going back and putting a check mark by them. But the point is, I can relate to everything she's saying. I'm sure a lot of you can relate as well. One of the things that I learned in hindsight, Amway by far had the best presentation. Marie, you talked about where you could not translate the same vision that you had to your friends and family. And that was the great thing about Amway. You know, they called it the plan. They showed the plan. And you had to be a real pro to show the plan effectively. So they would tell people, bring your friends and family to the meeting. And I'm telling you, when I was in California, our meetings were packed. I mean that sincerely, folks, that we'd have 200-300, and some of them we had 2,000 to 3,000 people. I kid you not. It was an amazing thing to go through. And the reason they wanted you to bring your friends and family, because the person doing the presenting was usually a diamond and above, because they had been showing this plan for so long that it was second nature. But man, what they did, Marie, is exactly what you said. They sold the dream for you. You were trying to do what your sponsor did to you, was give you that dream, that vision, where you saw it and you wanted to go after it. Well, that's what they did. They were so good at presenting the plan that they sold the dream. But I got to be honest, they were fair. They showed you exactly how you made money. They showed you the role the product played, and they laid it out. This is how you make money. This is blah, 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 blah. And so when you got done, they tied everything together. And when they got done, not only could you see how you made money, but they sold you the dream that, hey, if you do what we show you in this plan, and you can see how easy it is, you can achieve greatness in this business. They did a wonderful job. It was absolutely amazing. A lot of the things that I adopted later when I put together my business building system, the 5 simple steps, was based on what I learned in Amway, because it was so daggone effective. Okay. So I totally get what you're saying. And, you know, here's the thing, folks. When you got to realize that on these conference calls, let's all just for a moment pretend for a moment, and because I want to be fair on both sides. Okay. There's a lot of words and a lot of things they do to manipulate your emotions to make you make an emotional decision right there, okay? And part of that is the conference calls. Part of that is the presentations in person, okay? And it doesn't matter what company you're with. Some of that is that, you know, these house parties, okay? Here's the thing. They're going to use certain words. They're going to use certain sentences and certain tactics to get your emotions up. And let's take the fact that Marie and I just started a new network marketing business. Look, we have to create excitement. The only way our company is going to get off the ground is by having stories. And in order to have stories, we got to create success. In order to create success, Marie and I have to have money to go to a professional business builder, okay? A well-known professional business builder. And this is kind of an inside knowledge thing in the industry. And Marie and I say, hey, we're going to contact Sally. We're going to contact Dawn and Tammy and blah, 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 because they are proven big business builders. No matter where the company may be or what the company is, they are proven business builders. And we have to entice them with money. And you might say, sorry, guys, I've got a cat here. Anyway, and you'll say there's a cat right here. Anyway, the point is, Marie and I have to hire these people. We have to pay them $300,000. $500,000, $1 million based on their reputation and their success. And they go out and they build big businesses fast, creating these success stories and stuff, which leads to what? The conference calls and the presentations that you go to. Now, Marie and I are kind of mixed emotions. You know, we really don't always agree with what's said in these presentations and conference calls, but these guys know what the legal thing, the legality of their comments and things like that. They've been doing it for a long time. They know what words to use in these conference calls to motivate people to take action. Now, that's one side of the coin. If you're going to have a successful networking business that people can utilize to change their lives, you got to have the same thing in the corporate level that you have when you're starting your own business. And that is what? Excitement, okay? Momentum, success stories. The company has to do the same thing that you as an individual are doing, okay? So I want you to know that there's a two-sided coin here, obviously, on the things Maria and I are going to be talking about today, but they're important that you know. You need to make a decision, but you need to make an educated decision, a non-emotional decision. And I'll tell you how to do that here in a minute. Now, I'm not going to ramble on like I have been, Marie. But here's the thing. What I wanted to do was preface her comments on, you got to realize that the company has a responsibility not only to themselves, but to the future downline, to do the best they can to stabilize this company and make it profitable from day one so that everybody can benefit. So some of these comments are necessary. They're not warranted all the time, believe me, but they're necessary evil, if you want to use that term. Okay, and they're not evil, because I can tell you the people that are doing it don't have evil intentions. They know that we're emotional human beings. They know that we make emotional decisions. They know for the sake of the company and the future of the company, people have got to make irrational, emotional decisions, okay? The company will give you your money back if you want. Okay, so Maureen, I wanted to set up the stage there because some things you and I are going to talk about and knock and say this is not right is, in fact, based on what I just said. The company is trying to survive. It's trying to move forward. Okay. Now,
Well, and a lot of things are driven on emotion, right? We, like you said, we're emotional beings, and studies have been done. People typically purchase based on emotion, and then they apply the logic to justify that purchase, right?
That's right.
So there's always going to be those catchphrases, and one of the things you'll find that people will try to get you to join their company is the idea that the time is now. If you don't take advantage of it now, you know you're going to lose out. You need to lock up your spot now. Think about it like a piece of real estate. It's just going to, exponentially grow. And what is it they call it these days? FOMO, fear of missing out, right? So that's what they're tapping into there. There's the excitement. You don't want to be left behind. You want to be part of the excitement, the people on the cutting edge, the people taking advantage of the new technology, the first in people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've heard that on more than one occasion.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, because people would contact me almost every time a new company would start. Rob, you got to hear this. Rob, you got to, because they're trying to get a big business builder to join. And, oh man, if we could just get Rob to join our business, man, it'll really take off. And I'll tell you some of the other tactics that they did here in a little bit as well. But to tap into what she's talking about, guys, here's some of the things that they're going to say. When they're getting off the ground, look, most companies are going to promote the product, okay, and the comp plan right out of the gate. They are going to use the positioning as well, okay? So don't fall for any of that. Understand that almost every networking company, legitimate, I mean legitimate. I don't mean the laundry ball. I don't mean the travel companies. I don't mean the golf membership companies. I don't mean the gas pill. You remember the gas pill? You ever heard of that one?
Yeah. Yep.
That was crazy. The gas additive. Oh my. There are so many crazy things out there that have been tried. It wasn't just a laundry ball. There was one with a laundry ring. And I'm missing out on a lot, guys. Here's the thing. And some of these companies are one product companies, even if the product's legitimate. But here's the thing. Look, the bottom line is that whenever they get on a conference call, they got to promote the product. And unfortunately, they set the company up from the get-go with a lot of challenges, because what they do is they use the product and they're going to make promises. And they're going to say, you're going to lose 30 pounds in 1 month, okay? And they're going to put people on that, quote unquote, lost 30 pounds in 1 month. And they're going to give their personal testimonials on these conference calls. And you're going to say, wow, this is great. And they're going to talk about the ingredients, that they have ingredients that nobody else has. And that's the reason why theirs works better and why it's possible to lose 30 pounds in 1 month. Of course, I'm exaggerating this, but the thing is, you get the point. Everybody's been on those calls. And what they're doing is they're using emotions and quote unquote testimonials from people you don't know to validate the claims they're making. Guys, as long as the product works, that's all that matters. I don't care if it's 30 days, 60 days, 45 days. It doesn't matter. If it helps people lose weight and people are in fact having success with it, that's all that matters. If it's safe and not hurting anybody, then you've got a good product. So don't get caught up in those conference calls and the tactics. Matter of fact, I used to lose people on the conference calls. I'd invite people on the conference calls, and I got to the point where I was scared to death to do it because I was trying to be a team player. And the thing is, the things they were saying on there, when they got off and followed up with my prospects that were on the call, they say, that's crazy. I'm not joining a company that makes those kind of claims. That's bull crap. I wasted my time on there. I can't believe you got me on there. I mean, some of it was pretty daggone negative, which could destroy your heart and your desire to build a business because of what they heard on the conference call. And you were just trying to be a team player. Well, it got to the point where I wouldn't do it at all. I mean, because I never knew what was going to be said on there. And I knew that if what was said on there was going to be exaggerated and it was going to blow my prospects out of the water, and all that hard work that I did was gone. Well, you don't want to do that, folks. So I'm not saying that you don't need to participate in the conference calls. What I'm saying is, what I encourage you, you don't one or two by yourself. Listen to whether it's over the top or not before you get your prospects on there. I'm sure you've heard conference calls like that where you were embarrassed and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're saying this. What are my prospects thinking?
Absolutely. And there is a segment of the population, of course, that gets excited by that over the top excitement and the rah, let's go. I'm not one of those people. So it would make me uncomfortable. I'm looking for more of a factual presentation. I'm looking for some solid numbers. I'm looking for some data because I am, again, left brain logical and more business minded about it. But there are the people that do get involved in network marketing because of, I almost call it the MLM high, right? You get in those arenas, you get on some of those calls, or you go to some of the events, and they get you so pumped up, right? Yeah. So excited. I mean, life is great. Let's go. And they leave, and it lasts maybe 24 hours. And a week later, everybody's kind of, back to where they were, and that excitement and passion is gone. You can't sustain that because it's almost unnatural. Now, there are people that it comes naturally for, the happy, joy people. I mean, I know people like that, and I love them to pieces. I wish I could be more that way. I'm not. And that's my personality. And I think those are exceptional people in that realm. So definitely the average person, if you're exaggerating or you're hearing a presentation that's way exaggerated, people's BS meter is going to go off, right? They're going to recognize it for what it is. They may not know specifically what the problem with the statement is or the presentation. They just know it doesn't fit with the way they feel.
You're absolutely right. And the thing is that there are people that do get excited over those calls, and those are not the people, folks, that you really want into your business, to be honest with you, because they burn out very quickly. They're like a candle blown out by the wind, and the wind could come at any moment. And those people have very little staying power. So yeah, she's right. There are people that get excited over those kind of conference calls, but folks, those are not the type of people that are going to do something special in this business. And here's the other thing, guys. Like you said, they're going to entice you. Hey, we just started this company. Get in now while the getting's good. Get your position. And another tactic they use in that same realm is this. Hey, I'm getting ready to sign up Marie Cannon. She's a proven big business builder, and she's going to create all kinds of volume. You need to get in. I have a position right above her. I'm going to put her under you. And what they're trying to do is to motivate you, okay, because you haven't done anything or you've done very little. And they know that you're struggling. You may even actually be out there trying to generate leads on your own by being a foot soldier, getting out, collecting business cards or talking to people, whatever the case may be. And they're like, you know what? Rob's really out there trying to make a difference, but I know he's struggling trying to get leads, and the people he's talking to are not really good quality prospects. So the bottom line is, if I put Marie there, a proven business builder, she's going to create all this volume. And so they get a hold of Rob, and they said, Rob, I'm going to put so-and-so underneath of you, man. You ought to be excited. Get out there, knock them dead, buddy. It's time to get going and, rock and roll and all this other stuff. And it's another motivational tactic that they use to get you to take the type of action that Marie's going to take. And the biggest difference between Marie and I, she has the knowledge, she has experience, she's miles ahead of me. I'm just starting out. I'm getting my feet under me. I don't know how this business works. I don't even know really what this means. I know she's going under me, but what do you mean? I'm the volume and all that she creates. I get the volume, but I don't know how that benefits me. Okay, because nobody took the time to explain the comp plan and what could happen if I was to build my business correctly. They're just trying to motivate me. If you guys don't see the flaw in this right now, I'm going to reveal it to you. Look, they can motivate you all day long, but if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you're not going to do anything. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get mad because Marie's building this huge business. You see all this volume you're missing out on, and you're like, well, I'm just not ready for this business. I quit. Okay, it didn't motivate you at all. Okay, it had the reverse effect. And the thing is, they're not helping you. They're just telling you to get out there and sponsor people. That's great. Okay, so Rob gets out there, and Rob's motivated. Rob sponsors 10 people in 2 weeks. What is Rob teaching them? And just get out there and talk to people. Because that's exactly what they told me. How long do you think that's going to last? Maybe a week?
Not long.
That's right. So they haven't helped you. What they've done is use the telephone or the email or texting, whatever the case may be, to motivate you, get you fired up, get you emotional, because Marie's under you and you're like, yes, yes, yes. They helped me out. This is awesome. And all they did was set you up for failure. And chances are you're going to quit sooner rather than later because you're getting frustrated. And then when you try to call to get a hold of them, hey, I'm working my tail end off, but this ain't working, because you have to realize a lot of the people that sponsor you don't know what in the hell they're doing. So now you call them and you say, I'm working my tail end off and it's not working. Can you help me? Marie's building a great business and I want to be able to benefit from that volume that's passing through my business, but I don't know what to do. I sponsored 10 people and they all quit. They're not doing anything. What am I doing wrong? Let me get back with you. You know, you've probably been there too on that.
Oh, absolutely. And you're touching on what I believe is one of the biggest things that they're going to tell you to get you to join, that it's going to be so easy and you're going to make big money. However that's communicated, whether it's that positioning that you just spoke about, like we're going to put this big business builder under you, so the position's going to make the difference. You won't have to put in much effort and you'll be able to make big money. Yes. You know, you can become a millionaire in this business working 10 hours a week. And it doesn't take very long for people to realize that it doesn't work that way. It's that promise of, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You have better luck going out and playing the lottery to become a millionaire than to join a network marketing business. Doesn't matter how great the products are, how fast the company's growing. If you're expecting to put in very little effort, spend very little time, your compensation is going to reflect that. It's the most, a meritocracy. You really get what you deserve in the network marketing business.
No doubt.
It is the super rare case where you have the person that comes in, does very little, and makes a tremendous amount of money. Now, it's unfortunate that those stories are appealing and they will perpetuate, but you're talking literally lottery odds on that happening for you. It's 1 in a trillion that it's going to happen.
And you probably have a better chance of winning the lottery, to be honest with you.
Yep, exactly.
Rather than that.
That idea of it being easy is so inaccurate. The truth is it's a simple business.
Yes, it is.
It's not a difficult thing to do. There are a lot of things you can do out in this world that I consider hard work. I see the road construction crews because, it's construction season right now, right?
Right.
And they're out there in the heat and they're working hard and they're moving heavy machinery, heavy objects. That is working hard.
Yes.
So in that respect, the business, what we're doing, it's easy. I get to sit in a climate controlled office. Yeah. There are different aspects of it that create difficulties for me as well as other people, but the business is simple.
Right. It is. You're right. because folks, well, we talk about time, 5 simple steps. I mean, you can't get any simpler than that. But here's the thing, and I want to clarify a couple things here because I want this message to be clear. Look, folks, number one, they're trying to get you emotional. They're going to use the product. They're going to use the comp plan. They're going to use, hey, I'm going to put somebody underneath of you. They're going to use, hey, this is position number 2 in the company. No one else will ever have number 2. Better jump on it while you can. They're going to use, hey, I've have all kinds of success in the past. You want to work with me? Then join now because I only can work with a certain amount of people. They can have all kind. You better get in now because we're going to go overseas. We're going to go into Asia, and Asia is always a network marketing gold mine. You want to get in now before we go in there. And so what they're doing, they're really way behind the scenes without them actually coming out and telling you what they're doing by using all these tactics. And they'll use any one of them and any combination of them to get you motivated to make a decision. But here's the thing. What they're doing is they're recruiting. They're working the numbers, okay? And they're using these words and these tactics to motivate you to take action because they're working the numbers. Remember I was talking about yesterday, Rob's going to sponsor 60 people. Guess what? They're doing the same thing. They've got a number in their head or written down, and they're saying, I've got to get those people, and they're willing to take anybody. If you're breathing, they're going to sign you up, okay? Because they're working bigger numbers, all right? Where I only have to sponsor 60 people because I use a scale of ambition, and I'm searching for high-quality people who have a greater chance of taking action. They're willing to sponsor anybody, which means they'll have to sponsor 90 to 120 people, almost a third or half of what I have to sponsor. Why? Because they're sponsoring anybody. They don't care about the scale of ambition. They're just saying, hey, I'm going to sponsor as many people as possible and let it stick to the wall, and whoever comes out of it, comes out of it. Well, you're going to work your tail end off, and not many people have the same power to take that approach. So that's what they're doing when they're using these tactics. Okay, so I wanted to identify each one of those tactics and let you know that if you hear where they're really promoting the product, like I said, it cures everything, came from Mars, blah, blah, blah. And, the thing is, guys, you'll know when it's being overhyped, okay? And I'm going to touch on the product here in a moment because I really want to clear because it's part of this picture. Additionally, if they're just saying, hey, get in now, this position will be gone. We talked about that yesterday. Guys, it's not about the number position. If you're the number 2 person in the company, hey, that's great. But you know what? If you don't take any action, it means absolutely nothing. Yes, your name is in the number 2 slot and will be there for infinity because it'll be a permanent record with that company. But guess what? Marie can come down. She can be the 1,222nd person that's joined the business in the first 6 months. And she takes off like a rocket because she knows what she's doing. She knows how this business works. She's working the numbers. She has a plan. That means when I lay that out right there, that's because Marie has a plan because she knows how the business works. She doesn't need those phone calls. She's not worried about having the number 2 position. She's not worried about the product. As long as it's safe and works, she's not worried about it. As long as the proper volume is attached to that product, because she knows volume is how she gets paid. So the bottom line is, as long as she knows those things are done, she don't care about the conference calls. She doesn't care about those presentations. Okay, is she going to expose her people to those things? If she's smart, she won't, because what she'll do is introduce a bug, a fly in the ointment, if you will, that can cause real chaos. Okay, but we'll talk about that down the road. But here's the thing. She knows what she's doing. She doesn't need all that crap. She's not going to get emotional. She's going to make a business decision because she's a businesswoman. She knows how to evaluate a new company. She's going to remove her emotions from it. She may get excited. There's nothing wrong. It's not like she's a stone. She should get excited if she runs up on an opportunity that can present her a real financial windfall. But the bottom line is she is a professional. She's going to remove herself from the emotional side of it, look at it as a business person and say, yep, this is really good. I'm excited. I can now look people in the eye and be truthful and tell them, hey, I got something special. If you work with me, we can take advantage of this. And all of us benefit financially from this in a big way. Okay, folks, she's miles ahead of you. If you join because of the product, she's miles ahead of you. If you join because you want to be the number 2 person in the company, she's miles ahead of you, even though she's the 1,222nd person. Okay, if you join because of so-and-so, guess what? She's miles ahead of you. Unless so-and-so is on the same level as her, a professional business builder who knows what they're doing and has a proven plan, guess what? She's miles ahead of you. She's going to outperform you guys because she knows what she's doing. None of this stuff you hear in these conference calls and these presentations will, in fact, do anything for you. Doesn't put you on the same level as her. I will say that the presentations are typically, Marie, better than the conference calls because they cover more information, and a lot of it is factual. And so the presentations can actually be quite good if you just look past the rah-rah session and the bull crap that comes along with it. When you get good at this industry, you'll immediately identify the rah-rah and the bull crap and focus in on the factual stuff, and then you can get excited. You can say, you can walk away from that in-person presentation, whether it's one-on-one or the presenter's on stage and there's 100 people in the room. Doesn't matter. If you can pull the facts out of that presentation and walk away saying, hey, there's potential here, then that's a good presentation, okay? Wouldn't you not agree? I've been to those. I like the presentations much better than I do the conference calls. I quit doing the conference calls. I'll never do conference calls again. I've been invited to host them, and I've been invited to be a testimonial, and I said, screw you, I ain't doing it. And I was nicer than that, but you get my point.
Well, and it's interesting. You're absolutely right. And one of the things I think is interesting, a lot of those conference calls are known as sizzle calls, right?
Oh, they are. I forgot about
Remember that? Yep. Yeah. They're selling the sizzle and not the steak. You're getting that aroma. You're starting to get hungry for it. You get that appetite, but they're not talking about the meat of the issue necessarily. And that's where definitely the presentations are so much more valuable, where you're getting that information and the facts, and you're seeing more of what the business itself is about.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's a very good point. I forgot about that. Do they call that a sizzle call out in the open now?
I don't know if it's out in the open or not, but I've been in several different companies where it's the sizzle call.
Yes, behind the scenes, guys, and at the corporate level and the leadership level, that's what they call them. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, did we just bust out a little network marketing secret there?
Yeah, we did. You know, yeah, we let the monkey out of the barrel there, didn't we? He's going to cause chaos now. Oh,
absolutely.
Man. See the things you guys learn when you tune into our podcast. Okay, so also part of this whole thing that we're talking about today, you have to realize something, because it's essential for you to remain calm and to look at this opportunity in an unbiased way, to look at this opportunity as a business person, someone that is taking an educated look at the opportunity. And the point I'm making is this, guys, the product is not your product. Okay, forget about the product. Once again, if it's a juice and it's not going to hurt anybody and they've got real science behind it, you know, it's not a juice that you want them to go down and they're dipping a pitcher down into the sewer and then recycling in it, calling it a juice. That is not good. Now, I'm exaggerating the point, but I want to make the point is that if this company has a juice line and they have like 15 different juices, okay, for different things, guess what? As long as those juices are safe, that's good, but that's not the product. That is not the product. Professional business builders don't give a hoot. And if you want to make it big in this business, really, if you don't even want to make it big, look, if you just want to make it in this business, you got to treat it as the business it is. It is a business, guys. It's a business model. It just works different, but it is a business. And when you are in the business world, there are certain things in any business, whether if you're a hospital, there are certain basics they have to cover in order to stay in business, okay? If you go to open up your own dog grooming place, there are certain things that every dog grooming place does in order to stay in business. So they are the basics. Well, guess what? The product that people bring, the dog grooming, what do they bring? It's not the scissors. It's not the lotions they use on the dog. Okay, what is the product? The product is the end result, which makes the homeowner happy or the pet owner happy. That is their product. And how do they get that end result? Because of their knowledge and their experience. The scissors and the lotions are just tools. They're just part of the process. Okay? The product they bring to the dog owners is the end result that they want, which is a clean dog, a well-groomed dog that's happy. And when the homeowner comes in, the pet owner comes in to pay for it, and they see the pet, they have a smile on their face. And they're glad to pay whatever it is you charge. Why? Because they got the result they wanted. Guess what? Network marketing is no different. Look, there is a game plan. Marie is a professional business builder. She knows how the business works. She knows. She doesn't care about anybody else's business building system. She doesn't care about all the other fluff, the conference calls and all that, because she knows what she's doing. She's just like, get out of the way. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do it. I'm going to start my process now, okay? The product that you're bringing, just like the pet grooming place, the product that they're presenting to that pet owner is the end result. The product in network marketing is the opportunity for people to better their lives through a better lifestyle, more money, or more time freedom. It's the end result. And Maria sits down with someone one-to-one, looks them in the eye and says, look, I've been doing this for a long time. I know how to do it. I'm all about money. I tap into these companies. I'm not a network marketer. Okay, I'm not afraid of the word network marketing. I'm not afraid of the term network marketing. That identifies the business model. Here's the thing. I am a professional business builder. I'm all about lifestyle and money. I have run into a company that's in the right growth phase where 70% of the wealth is created. I know how to tap into these companies. I have a simple 5-step system that anybody can do. You can hold your job, you can maintain your family life, and you can utilize this business model to leverage yourself to take full advantage of the financial opportunity this company is presenting us. I'm looking for people that understand that, people that want more out of life and aren't afraid to work towards what they want. And I'll teach you the 5 simple steps. I'll help you. They're easy to master. You can do it in a couple of days. And I'm looking for partners because I can't do this alone. Guys, I essentially gave you the music to the ears message. And it's chock full of other key words. But in essence, I gave you the music to the ears message. And you will have high quality people on the edge of the seat because the product that you're bringing to them is what? Better lifestyle, more money, and more time freedom. They're going to want one or all 3. Okay? That's what you bring into the table. So why go to a conference call? I'm going to tie it together. Why to go to a conference call that doesn't promote that? Okay? It's not going to get you where you want to go. Okay? Why get on a presentation that's not promoting what you are doing? See, if you allow your people to get on these conference calls, if you allow your people to go to these presentations, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to be calling Marie, saying, Marie, I'm confused. What in the hell's going on? You're teaching us this, and they're talking about that. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to give more credibility to the corporate people. You know why? Because they have the word corporate in front of them. And their vice presidents and their presidents and their CEOs and their CFOs and they're in charge of recruiting. They are going to give them more credibility despite the fact that Marie has a long proven history of taking advantage of these companies and developing a great income and a great lifestyle, not only for herself, but her leaders as well. Okay? Because the company and the leaders are tangible. Marie cannot parade her former leaders in front of her prospects and saying, well, meet Jane Doe, meet Billy Joe Bob, and they give testimonials, proven testimonials, saying, yes, she knows what she's doing. Yes, I have a great life because of her. She can't compete with that. So if you let your people go to And this is part of what we're talking about, that all of this is tied together. I'm just painting the big picture for you, so you're going to understand why you don't want to do this and why you don't want them to manipulate you with the words, with the tactics that we've talked about in the show. So that is what goes on. You want to build a successful business. You do not want to get caught up in the conference calls. You do not want those people manipulating your emotions where you make an emotional decision not based on facts. Okay. So I know I kind of hijacked that a little bit, but I wanted people to know the real product is not the product of the company. The real product is the opportunity this company is presenting them. Folks, that's what big business builders do. They sell the dream. Marie was talking about it in the beginning. She could not relay from her mouth to her friends and family's ears the dream that was sold to her. Okay? It's because at that time she didn't have the knowledge on how to do that. She didn't have the words. She did not know how to relay that, either on paper or with her words, that message. Guess what? Use the music to the ears message that we have created. It's a proven message, and it will work for anybody every time. Okay? It's going to push people away, or it's going to attract high quality people to you. That's what it's designed to do. But the thing is, when you get on these conference calls with a new company, they're using keywords to get emotions out of you because they need you to sign up now. Don't fall for that stuff. Look at the company as a business person and use proven evaluation techniques to evaluate what this company brings to the table. We teach that as well. So Marie, I know that you understand why I brought that point up and the point I was trying to make. And it does all tie together, folks. I did not get off on a tangent there. What I did is go a little deep, but it's all tied together. Okay? And I'm telling you this, we're telling you this stuff now because it all starts on those conference calls and the crazy claims they make. It all starts with these presentations, and that's how they hook you. Okay? And we're trying to get you to understand, don't fall for that. Look at the company and with no emotion, look at it as a professional, and you'll be miles ahead of your peers. Marie, got anything to add to that rant that I just went on real quick?
Yeah, I think to just kind of wrap up what you're saying there is that we don't want you to be falling for these messages that they put out there. But at the same time, we also want to caution you in delivering those types of messages yourself. Because if you do, you are not going to get the quality of business builder you're looking for. And you're going to find yourself spinning your wheels and working a whole lot harder, trying to pull people along with you, or as I like to say, throw them across the starting line of the race. Well, if you have to throw them across the starting line, what do you think you're going to have to do to get them to the finish line?
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be so much more work on your part. So the dual reason why you want to be aware is, one, for yourself. Don't let yourself be manipulated by these messages, but be careful if you find yourself using them yourself. You're not going to get the quality of business builder you're looking for.
Absolutely. And folks, also, I wanted you to know that we speak from personal experience. We've been on these conference calls. We've been victims of this. And even though I feel that I'm a rather street smart person, I feel for this stuff because I was so excited about the possibilities, not because I was stupid. I just assumed that this was the way it was done. I did not always agree with what I was told to do. And once again, I followed the marching orders because I was trying to be a good soldier. I was trying to fall in line, and I didn't know any different, obviously, but I wanted to be a team player. And I said, okay, you know what? I trust these people. Look at the life they have. And I went to some of these people's homes when I first joined the industry. It wasn't fake. These people had, of course, I didn't get to see their checking accounts, to verify that's where the money was coming from. But they certainly had. And when I joined and I was around these people, Marie, these people were legitimate, successful people They did not have a job. There was nothing under the table going on. Of course, I didn't check their checking account, but they lived in some really nice homes and really nice neighborhoods. And in other words, they how would you say, they walked the walk. And so I realized, okay, you know what? These people are the right people to follow because they're living the life. And there was no reason for me to question what they were doing and what they were saying. And I will say that the Amway people were not as bad as some of the other companies. I'm not taking up for Amway. I'm just telling the truth. I know that there are other organizations within the Amway business that maybe did some of those things. I don't know. I wasn't privy to that. I was part of Worldwide Dream Builders, which was Ron Pereira's organization, which was part of Bill Britt's organization, which was part of Dexter Yeager's. So I really was not exposed to some of that other stuff. But the bottom line is that I know that it took place, but I followed along the marching orders because this is what I was told to do. And these guys already have the lifestyle. I've been stupid not to do it, right? So when I did get with a company that used conference calls, I was already conditioned, if you will, to be a foot soldier and to follow orders. But there again, I was doing it because I wanted to be a team leader. I did not want to be a rebel, and I did not want to get off the success path, if you will. But as time went along, without dragging on this episode, as time went along and I got exposed to some of the leaders that were willing to talk off the phone, if you will. I didn't know how else to put it, off the record. Let's put it that way. There we go. I'm having a rough day today. But anyway, they were willing to talk off the record. It was becoming apparent that what they were promoting or what you saw or what you perceived is probably a better way to put it, because was not always the way they were building the business behind the scenes, if you will. And we'll get into that in other episodes. But the bottom line is that my eyes began to get open. And I'll be honest with you, it got to the point where I had to say, do I want to be a part of this industry or not? Because I was not willing to do some of the things. I was disheartened and frustrated. I was saddened to see how the business was really being worked versus what they were telling you. And I'm not saying that all people are bad. I'm not saying that all companies. That's not what I'm saying, guys. I'm saying certain individuals. The industry itself is pure. Okay, the business model is pure. It doesn't take advantage of anything. She talked about it. It's the purest form of capitalism around. It's the fairest game plan around. It doesn't care who you are. Everybody starts at the same point. You can't ask for it to be much purer than that. And it also rewards people in an honest manner. Okay. And it's not how hard you work. You hear that. Oh, yeah, I just got to work harder. Everybody has learned over the years, it's work smarter, not harder. And that's true. But I would have another thing on top of that. Work harder while working smarter. Because I don't know of anything that's give a little bit and get a lot. It's just not possible. Okay. The thing is that you got to be willing to work hard, and you will get the results. And some of you might not have to work as hard as others. That's yet to be determined. Only life will determine that, and not us. But the bottom line is that if you do the key is to do the right steps. Okay, do the right steps, and that's all there is to it. And part of doing the right steps, look, you're either going to have a message that's going to repel people, and if you have a product message, you're going to throw up on them how great this product is, how it came from Pluto, Venus, blah, 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 and how it can cure everything, and it has all these great ingredients, and the person sitting across from you, their eyes are glazing over, and they've tuned you out, and they're thinking to themselves, I can't remember all this. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to know all this. I'm not here to push product. I just want to make money. If they could show me how to make money without all this product crap being thrown at me, and they feel like they're being thrown up on, and they just want to get away from you and wipe that puke off of them because they are done. They're over. You've lost them in the first 10 seconds or 15 seconds. On the other hand, if you show them and say, hey, look, I got something that can improve your lifestyle and help put money in your pocket, all of a sudden you got their attention. Their ears are perking up, and they're sitting there listening intently at what you're saying, but your message better be short and to the point. They're not going to waste a lot of time. They're going to tune you out. The more you talk, the less effective you are. I'm telling you that. That's the reason why the Music to Leaders message is probably 40 seconds long, max a minute and a half, based on, and the reason that there's such a big disparity, people talk at a different pace. Okay. So the bottom line is that the more you talk, if you'll remember this little thing, remember my dad telling me, son, the more people talk, the less they have to say. And that's true. And look at me, I'm talking like a freaking fool here, right? I'm talking a mile a minute. But what he's saying is just get to the point. And unfortunately, there's a lot of points to make in these episodes. But when you're talking to somebody, guys, remember, you've got to be short and to the point and concise. Paint a clear picture. Bam. The more you talk, the less effective you are. I'm telling you. The less people today have an attention span of a gnat. And if you're not saying the right words, they are not going to listen to you. If you say the right words, they will go from a gnat to an elephant, because you have said something that has struck a chord with them that they want to know more about. And if you keep ranting on about a lifestyle and what great lifestyle you have and the money you make, all of a sudden it goes from the elephant back down to the gnat. They're going to shut you out. They don't want to hear about your lifestyle. They could care less. They're there for themselves, not you. Okay? So, Maria, I think we need to summarize, if you will, summarize the important points we covered, the conference calls, the words that they use, so that as we close this, people will have, once again, a clear image of what this episode is about and why they don't want to do this stuff or fall for it.
Well, it's not falling for FOMO, the fear of missing out. Don't let your emotions be manipulated into making you make a decision quickly. Make sure you're stepping back and looking at the facts. That's the main thing. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And guys, remember, we're not saying don't get on a conference call. We're saying be cautious. You should get on one or two and listen. Okay. Hopefully it's factual and not rah. And I don't mean that if they're talking slow and they're very professional, that it's still a good thing. It's all about the words they're using. I could sit here and talk like this and say, yeah, our product was developed by a group of scientists that are aliens on Mars, and then they took it to Pluto, and it was there for 1,000 years while they perfected it. I could talk like that all day and sound very professional and sound very authoritative, and yet be talking total bullshit. Okay, don't fall for it. That's not what we're saying. We're saying be cautious of what they're saying on those conference calls, all right? Don't use them. I'm telling you, if you're going to build a business here, don't use them. Don't use them. You'll cause more problems and lose more people, especially considering if you want to be a professional business builder versus a product-led business builder. Additionally, don't let them put you on the spot to make a decision. Rob, you better join now, because spot number 2, I'm going to be talking to Marie as soon as I hang up the phone here. If you don't take spot 2, I promise you Marie's going to take spot 2. And she's a big business builder, and you're going to miss all that volume. Don't fall for that. It may in fact be true. They may be talking to Marie, okay? And if you feel compelled to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and join. You're just going to have to live with the decision, okay? And we're not telling you to pass up position number 2. That is not what we're saying. We're saying don't let them use that as an emotional leverage to make you make a decision that you might regret, spend money you may not have, to get spot number 2, okay? And you don't know if they're going to get Marie, okay? That's a chance you're going to have to take. But what we're saying is don't let them play with your emotions by utilizing that old tired tactic they've used for years. Also, don't let them manipulate you and saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to sign so-and-so big shot up, and they're going to bring all kinds of volume through here, especially if it's a binary. They'll do that with you, okay? The recap is don't fall for these tried and true tactics. If you feel your emotions rising, then they're using those tactics on you to get you emotional, and that's when you will make a mistake, okay? You can get off those conference calls and evaluate the company yourself. Look for the 5 things. If you don't know what the 5 things are, we have a document on our website. The 5 things a company must have. If you go to the website and search for it, you'll find 5 things a company must have. It's a audio. I think it's a video as well as a book. Once again, it's free, guys. You can get that document on the website. We'll promote it tomorrow again. And that way you can learn what to look for in a company and not be on these conference calls. Okay? And that will help you make an educated decision based on the potential of the company. I think that's the best approach, don't you, Miss Marie? I think it's the best way. Just don't fall for the tactics these guys are using.
Yep. Engage the brain, as I like to say. Don't let your emotions run wild.
There you go. That's it. All right, folks, we have taken enough of your time. We had a rather short one today, and that's good. We could have closed it in an hour, but I ran it on, unfortunately, once again. But I had to clarify the point and I had to summarize because I don't want you guys to walk away from this episode not realizing what you learned today and what not to do versus what to do. And it's imperative that I make sure that you understand that. So with that being said, we're going to hop off of here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us again. Please join us live on Facebook and on YouTube. All you have to do is use hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution, so that you can find us on either one of those platforms. Join us every day, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for information that you'll not learn anyplace else. This information is all about building a successful business. It's not rah-rah stuff. It's not fluff stuff. We're not trying to fill airtime with bullcrap. We are here talking about real stuff that you utilize in the business building process to help you get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. We are here for you. We want to empower you to do great things. As we close, please remember, share and dance around and stand on your head and point in the direction, whatever it takes to get people to follow us, join us, share our stuff with our fellow network marketers. When we do positive things for our fellow network marketers, the world is a better place, and we need as much positive as we can in this crazy world of ours. And you can start that process by sharing what we are doing with our fellow network marketers. Once again, join us, help us get the word out. Join us every day, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys take care. God bless. Marie, we will see you tomorrow. I'm going to close the show with our same ending we always do.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.